Welcome to Marvel Maniac and MCU After Show. This is your host, Eric Cicada, aka Mr. Honest, back with you for the grand finale of Agatha All Along, Maiden Mother Crone, the season finale. Because if you, like me, just kind of finished the episode and you're thinking, well, definitely seems like there's more to come. So the show had some self-awareness and how good it was, right? I mean, to set up a direct sequel like that, I don't know. It seems actually really like they double down on their bets, is what I'm saying. Like, you can never know how good a thing is until it comes out. Except, I don't know, if you're like not really using your CGI budget-wise, and you should be making She-Hulk look a little more realistic in some scenes. Aside from that kind of stuff. This is why I love the MCU. I'm glad I decided to leave the last episode and start a new one, because it is kind of there's a lot of reveals in this episode, but what I thought is true. It's just an epilogue to the main story that we followed. Kind of reminds me of like an epilogue in The Last of Us Part 2. I don't know why I'm bringing up that game. I don't know how many of you could have possibly played it. It's Halloween time, though. Ooh, spooky. Okay, sorry. So, this episode's heartbreaking and beautiful. I use that word a little bit too much. But I find the lower moments for Agatha to be very human. And to see her with a son who wasn't supposed to be born, Lady Death, Aubrey Plaza, just came for him at birth, and she made a deal with Agatha that she can't promise how long, but she let her keep her son for, I think it was like 5 or 6 years. I forgot how old the kid was, but this kid was so genuine, and you get to see how him and his mom start traveling the country and tricking witches into going down the witch's road. And this song started so innocent, and like they were making the song together, and like little by little, day by day, like you kind of see how they changed it, and like by the end, like they're totally onto the regular song. And there's a big reveal that there's never been a witch's road. There has never been a witch's road. This is what the end of last episode was saying. Billy Maximoff is so powerful. He created it all with like subconscious magic. And then that line, "You're so much like your mother," it stands the heck out. The look on Agatha's face when the door actually opens, because like they put it into a montage from her across the ages, taking the power of witches. And in a way, it's not in a way, it's a total con. But like, it's kind of crazy how these witches attack her for that. She really does say some really mean stuff to them to instigate them. Like, she even said in earlier episodes, "Just zap me, you bitches." She just wants that. That's all she wanted. That's all she's ever done to get power. She never walked the witch's road because the witch's road doesn't exist. And tragically and sadly and ironically, yet beautifully, the song was made by her and her son. And she sings like an extra verse to it after her son died. She took him in his sleep, and like that was a big turning point for Agatha. And the witch's road thing started happening for her after that, and she kind of had a no shame, I'm in the game now type attitude of like, who cares about the witches? I'm going to get more and more and more power. I'm going to use this witch's road thing. I'm going to trick people, and I'm going to trick witches into giving me their power. And for years and years upon years, I can't tell you how long, hundreds of years, she's been doing this. And the way that it cuts, like from like the random group, the last random group, to our group, it puts everything in super speed. And it would make sense right when Agatha wakes up out of her coma. She wants to go right back to the con, especially since she doesn't have any magic to rely on. I freaking love it. Agatha definitely wasn't a great mother because she used her son and like a con still to get people to go down the road. She really loved her son, and she did not want him to go. And when he was taken from her in his sleep, she was broken. So it makes sense why she has that feud with death. Didn't go into too much of an explanation of their relationship, which makes me wonder again, is there a season 2 of this show? Or will this story pick up in the Scarlet Witch solo movie that may or may not be happening? I don't know. This episode was long, but in retrospect, the information given wasn't like... It wasn't an information dump on the last episode, but like... It was a lot of information for one episode, and I definitely felt like this was way more lighthearted, epilogue-y, dotting some, what do they say, crossing the X's and putting the T's on top. I'm screwing this one up. Listen, here's the deal. This show was awesome. I don't know about the last single moments of it. I don't know how I feel about the Back to the Future 2, Back to the Future feeling. Oh, it's so funny. I'm embodied. I think, you know what? It embodied the end of Back to the Future. It really did. The way they walk into the light, like Marty McFly bringing his lady into the DeLorean. Why am I drawing these comparisons? I don't know. Maybe because it's just a great comparison. This Back to the Future vibes thing at the end really got me thinking. Is this going to be continued in Vision Quest? No Wanda cameo, and you know what? I didn't expect it. I didn't even want it. I love this show. I love the episode and where it went. It was very like character based, and the fact that Agatha's a ghost now, coming back to talk about how he created the road. That's why she says you're so much like your mother. In that he realizes that he killed. He realizes that he actually killed the witches that were in that coven. So he makes like a shrine for them in Agatha's basement. Just wondering about these missing people. You know, if you want to come down here searching, you'll just see their gravestones in my basement. No big deal. Is Ralph Boner going to return home now? That's the real question. Agatha and, you know, for the sake of this show, I'm going to say it teen, because it sounds like something that maybe in the writer's room they didn't know what to do with that. And then they just started saying teen, and like, I don't know, I'm making this up, but like, I really value that title for him in the series, and I thought that was a lot of fun. And it covered up his identity in a way where it wasn't making you wonder too much about it until the show started pointing some lights on it, a little by little at a time. All the deep trials of the road created by no one other than Wiccan. He made the road. Did the coven, that evil coven, follow them down into his road? How? There's so much to question. He's so powerful is really what the moral of that kind of is. One person that came out of this alive with magic intact was Jen. She was the true winner of the Witch's Road. She actually got a prize. I thought it was very commendable in the last episode of Billy to sacrifice his power and energy to Agatha so she could have it back, and trusting her in that moment to not kill him. Like, wow. She just saved him, so why would she kill him? And that was a big turning point for Agatha as a character for me. Seeing all the bad that she's done across time. I mean, this montage that they do that justifies it a little bit with like them being witches that attack her. She always gets them to attack her, in which she's getting murdered in a sense. So it's like you feel a little less sad for the people she's taking the powers from. But the more and more of a con it kind of becomes, they do the whole song. Like, oh my God, the way this song starts in the episode is this simple, cute little thing that her son starts singing. And then it became the Witch's Road. And then she made it her con. And every time, she got stronger and stronger and stronger. And if you could just think about all that power went straight into Wanda Maximoff. No wonder she was going into demon dimensions and stuff. No wonder she was just like doing the craziest shit with the Darkhold. We didn't get an answer about the Darkhold or how she got it, did we? It's curious. It's very curious. There's too many little tiny questions like that I have remaining by. That's like the only criticism that I have. I don't know why, but maybe people were behind the Marvel scenes were seeing how big this thing was, and they guaranteed him a season 2, so maybe they finished the finale in a different way. Maybe they had 2 finales ready. If they had a season 2 prepared and they were wondering about it, I think by episode like 5 it was probably granted to them, so they had the time to edit and like set it up for the next stage of this show or the next part of this story, because it's let's go find your brother, and they walk in to a new passageway, and it's a door and it's leading to straight light. It looks like it's like the door to heaven. At first I did think that it was guiding Agatha through the light, but it's more of it's like a team up, like they're friends now, and Agatha's still gonna mentor him. And imagine if like Wanda comes back, like explaining that to Wanda, how long will that take? Interesting. All interesting. I think Agatha is better as a ghost because she's less of a threat to Billy. And she's definitely going to be like a side character in that story, wherever we may see that pick up. With all the success this show has had, there's no way that they're not going to use like a chance to make more of this, like is what I'm saying. And that's why I'm a little worried. You got lightning in a bottle here. You replicated nostalgia, and it's a newer nostalgia because of WandaVision, still kind of fresh. A few years ago, still new MCU, but we've been through a lot since then. And what this show did was kind of ground us a little bit, remind us, hey, we got this. We're Marvel. We're the MCU. Just sit back and enjoy, okay? And I'm like, but Agatha Marvel? But Agatha, we could be doing any other show. Prove me wrong, Marvel. They proved me wrong, and they didn't need to, but they did. This was a ride. It was exciting. This seems like a short episode for me. We're going to talk a lot more about it on my after show. But in all reality, it was Billy all along. He made it all happen. I just have to acknowledge my really raspy voice right now, and it just has to be that way, and I hate it. I don't like it. I want my voice to not be raspy like this, but it kind of is. That's a portion of the podcast that I'm having a few of these moments where I'm realizing while recording, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Like, just like personal things. Like, but you know what? My Mr. Honest, that name I granted myself to try and keep me an honest man. Might as well call me Mr. Liar if I don't be honest, man, right? So try and stick to my word as often as possible. But yeah, I'm not going to overstay my welcome. This is such a short-looking episode of me ending it here. It is a part 2 to the season finale. I mean, this honestly could have been covered together with the other episode, but I wanted to make it its own thing. I didn't know what this episode was going to be. I didn't look at the name. I saw Mother Maiden Crone. I mean, I had faith that this was going to be just as big, but it was more of like a cool down. And still with plenty of reveals and twists and turns as the show gives you. They even open up to like a second season. So I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm not going to repeat. This has been Mr. Honest these last 2 episodes, not going off notes, but going off memory. And I think we will find going off notes is probably the W for me. But I did the best that I could. I hope you enjoyed Agatha All Along as much as I did. I hope you had a spooky holiday. I hope you're getting ready for Thanksgiving. I'm so excited for our episode 100. Spectacular, with super special secret guests, friends from past, present, and future, and just a whole lot of Thanos love. It's a hell of a movie for a hell of an episode in a hell of a time. And I can't wait to see you there. As for Agatha All Along, we're going to be talking about everything, the story as a whole, reflecting, now knowing what we know after this episode, that Billy Maximoff created the road. there's going to be a lot to talk about with me and TJ and possibly Dustin. I'm really looking forward to it. Letting this simmer down and be like, just like thinking about it all week. I can't wait to see what happens next, wherever that is, and whatever that will be, and hopefully in the next 3 to 5 years. There's a lot happening in the next 2 or 3 years at Marvel. I love the ambition, and if I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to say, where else would I say it? I'm going to say it here when I'm thinking it. This feels a lot like Phase 3 right now of Marvel, like of the Infinity Saga and the Multiverse Saga. They want to get through. They really want to get through this multiverse thing. They want to tell more grounded stories, but that doesn't mean they're not going to give the Multiverse Saga the finale it deserves. And apparently, Spider-Man is going to come out like 2 months after the first Avengers movie, in between the Avengers movies. Joe and Anthony Russo at the helm of Doomsday, the first of the 2 new Avengers movie. It's a dream come true, and if they treat this script, this story, with just as much integrity as they did in Infinity War and in Endgame, we are in for a ride. Oh my god, I'm so excited. That's why I'm excited to talk Infinity War with you, coming up on our 100th episode. I don't have a date for that because I don't feel like looking right now, but it should be not far off. I'm very excited for next time, our after show. Come by, leave me your feedback in the episode description. We got a feedback. Let us know what you thought of this show. Did you love it, or were you like, I can't stand it by the end? I don't know how I'm going to go on without more Agatha. It'll be great to hear from you. We got a tip jar in there. Never expected, never necessary, but always appreciated. And I want to thank you for sticking with me, for giving me a chance to listen, for listening to me over others, or among others. It's an honor to be in your presence, talking to you about the nerdy things that we love. I'm not going to apologize for the scatterbrain mentality I have for these episodes. I want to embrace who I am while talking about what I love, and that's what the show is. And people who don't get that, there is your magical open door. This has been Eric Cicada, aka Mr. Honest, and until next time, Avengers, disassemble. I have to acknowledge the raspiness in my voice, and if people are annoyed by that, know that that's not my normal voice. I'm going to go on vocal rest, and disassemble and all that. Okay, but I'm working on my voice. Did I ruin the episode just there? MarvelManiacPod@gmail.com. Let us know.